Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Candy Ajijilek and I am a makeup artist based in Jos, Nigeria. So today's video is not makeup related. It is a story I've been wanting to tell for some time because I feel like it will explain a lot of the times I've been absent on here. It's not a lack of dedication. I mean, I've had this channel for over 7 years now, but this would probably explain why I've been absent a lot and why it looks like I have excuses a lot. But basically it's just a story about how my faith has been tried and how I keep on going regardless. So before we continue, please vote below if you've watched my previous video where I used the black backdrop. Do you prefer the white or the black backdrop? Please just comment that down below and let's get right into the video. So basically I think I should just give a little bit of backstory so you guys will understand context and everything. So when I was in uni, I studied business administration and all of that jazz. So when I was in uni, I worked part-time. I did my makeup thing on the side and I braided people and I did YouTube. YouTube is the only thing that has never really paid me, but I did all these things. And then I saved a lot of money. Like I saved, really, if you know me, you know that I'm very frugal with what I spend my money on. I don't just go shopping on a whim. I always delay gratification because there's always that next thing that you need to do to improve your life and all of that. So it's always just the main things. Have I eaten? Have I bathed? Have I done, like, my basic stuff? As far as I'm done with all those things, next we need to save for a rainy day, right? So I was using an iPhone 6s and I was about to come back to Nigeria after schooling, after doing my undergrad, that is. Then the iPhone 7 Plus came out and I noticed they had like the portrait function and all of that. Now, it's not all the backgrounds that are very suitable when you do people's makeup, and it's not like you can walk around with your backdrop everywhere. So basically a portrait phone was like the next best thing. So like I said, I did not buy things rashly because if you see the pictures I took with my iPhone 6s, they were very clear as at that time, and I didn't even know how to take good pictures, so they were very clear then. So basically I started saving up. It took me about 6 months to save up for a 7 Plus. It wasn't as cheap as it is now in Nigeria. Like, it is a third of how much it cost me to buy it in the first place. And if you know how much they sell it, like a UK used one, it's about 100 to 115 and all of that, naira. But I had bought mine for like ×3 of that, and it was just 32 gig. So when I came back, it was serving its purpose. It was clear. It had enough memory, just enough for like makeup and pictures. But then YouTube, I had a hard time, but I just made do, right? So basically I was just living my life, my little corner, and I even tried to get a pouch that didn't show the Apple logo because I did not want to draw attention and all of that. But basically attention came to me with or without drawing it. So it was just 1 month after I had gotten back from school. I came back in July. This was August. 1 month after I got back from school, I was supposed to be preparing for my NYSC, which is the Nigerian Youth Service Corps, which I later did. But I came back from school in 2018, and there's a set. Usually they mobilize people to go for the service it's every year, but like 2 to 3 times a year. So since I didn't make the cut for June, I came back in July. So since I didn't meet the June batch, I was going to go with the October November batch. So I was getting my documents ready, getting them evaluated and accredited in Nigeria. And the night before, I just got this text from my dad saying, oh, you have to take this in good faith, but you hadn't passed maths in your WAEC, which is our West African examination that we usually take to go to university. So I didn't pass maths, and that was like 8 years ago, because when I graduated secondary school, it took 3 years to gain admission into the uni, and then I graduated 4 years later. So this was 7 years later. and they were telling me I had to write this high school examination again. So literally, this was telling me you need to go and buy books. You know how, like, when you graduate university, you start telling yourself that if I see any signboard, I am not reading again. But this time around, I had to buy a truckload of books for SS3, like senior class basically, and start reading. After getting that news, I went to bed with a heavy heart and all. Okay, so I went to bed, and it was like around 1 a.m. It was dark. It was in August, so it was raining. So I was sleeping, but my heart was heavy. So I did not go deeply into this sleep. And around 1, like I keep saying 1, but the police kept telling me to say about 1 because I'm not sure, but it was 1 a.m. on the dot. I kept feeling something touching me. It was soft because my blanket is soft and all now, so something was touching me. And I woke up, and there was this very black guy in my room. That guy is jet black, like dirty charcoal black, very black. I saw him in my room, and I shouted Jesus, and then he ran out. So my door was open. That was how he got in and out. But how he got into the house is what I don't know, right? So I came out of my room. I thought, okay, maybe my brother must have come to my room too, because I searched for my phone and I couldn't find my phone. There was no light, so I was trying to use my phone as torch. I couldn't find my phone. So I thought it was my brother who took my phone, maybe to use it or something. I opened his room, and his bed hadn't been slept in. He wasn't back from school yet. He was going to come back the next day. And then I said, okay, let me check like the back door, and I found out that it was actually open. Like the back door to our compound, it was open. So basically, the night was one of the longest nights. I went to bed. I cried a bit, and I went to bed. And then the next day, which was because it happened like at midnight, so 1 a.m. Thursday, and then this was Thursday, the actual day. So we went to town to report this to the police there, and because I had been told that they usually track these things, and I gave all my details and everything. Okay, so we gave the details to the police, and they said, oh, these things are actually locked, and we just never know. Let's just see what happens. So it wasn't really assuring. I tried to do the find my iPhone thing. I tried to track, but because there's no internet in a lot of places, and the person who stole it may not have been able to operate it, may have removed my SIM card, all of that stuff. And basically, we came back home. So I described this person to my friend, and I was like, this person came, carried my phone, and then he started to touch me. This is how he looked. Like, this guy could have gotten away with stealing my phone, no? But it's the fact that he stayed because he wanted to touch woman. Like, he stayed to get some more. I explained him, like I described him to my friend, and she said, I know him. He has a reputation for stealing and touching girls. This is his name. This is where he lives. Like, look at God. Literally, she had every means of tracking him without me going to pay money or all of that stuff, and trusting that, you know, the police would work their miracles. So I called my uncle, and we knew a police guy. So we went to our local police station, and they were like, if we have like an official, which is the police, and if we know his house, we can actually bring him in. So me, my uncle, and the police guy went to his house. It was a rainy day as well, like it was drizzling like crazy. So we didn't go with the police, like the whole many of them. We just went with one, and it was kind of quiet. He wasn't wearing any uniforms. It was raining, so people went outside. Nobody was there to warn him, nothing. We just went quietly. Me and my uncle hid so that he wouldn't see us and suspect and start running. So the police guy went to the woman's door. He knocked. He was like, hi, my name is so and so. I'm looking for your son. He met the guy's mother. And then the mother said, what does he want with her son? He said, no, he just wants to ask him a few questions. And then the boy came out. And then they said, no, they would like to ask him the questions at the police station. The mother did not even wait. She started to charge. Started to para. Why are they calling her son? Her son has not even been at home for days. All those, like, you guys, she became defensive. It's understandable, because why would the police guy come to get my son and all? Right? Okay, we went to the station. And then these people, I noticed that they were actually tackling me because I guess there are so many false reports, like people falsely accuse people. So yeah, they want to do their due diligence, but they were firing me more than they were firing the accused. They asked us to write statements, and I had written everything to a T. I described what time it happened, what he was wearing, like from his it's crazy, there was no light though, but I could remember that he was wearing a white short knicker and a black hoodie. I described all these things. That day that we picked him up, he was wearing another color of hoodie. Like, he's known, he has an identity. He's known for these things. He always walks around in hoodies, so he won't be recognized, and he's black. So when it's really late, you basically can't see anything but eyes and teeth. Anyways, they asked him to write his statement and he refused to write it. He kept saying he doesn't know me from anywhere and he's not going to do anything, and they let him be. It's me that they made me to write my statement 3 times because they thought maybe there will be a glitch, maybe I'm lying and they will catch me. Like, I think I can just... Fine. I wrote my statement 3 times. I described to 3 different people. Do you know what they kept on asking me? Why did I not lock my door while I was sleeping inside the house? So we have locked our gate. Oh, you are still asking me why I did not lock my room door inside the house. You did not ask him how he got in, right? They were asking me why I didn't close my door. You know, some kind of useless questions. All those apologies that will ask you what you were wearing when you were raped. Those kinds of questions I kept on getting. Then it was fine. So long as they might find a solution. We spent the whole... Like, this arrest, I told you I came back on Thursday and then told my friend, and then she described him. So on Friday, we went and got him arrested. He was going to crash there because he wouldn't say anything, so they said he would crash there. His aunt came, his mom came. They were looking at me like I was the bad guy. They kept on saying I'm accusing him wrongly, and we are the same tribe, and this is not how they deal with people. And the aunt said she knew my dad and mom, she knows them, so this is how we solve things. We're supposed to solve this thing back door. I was just looking at this woman like she doesn't understand that this is basically like my means of livelihood. This is how I work. I didn't just buy a phone for fancy and snapping pictures. This is how I work. I do makeup, I snap pictures, I go to school, I do a lot of things on my phone. So basically, even if I used it just to snap, you don't have the right to steal my phone and all of that. So basically, there hadn't been any proof yet. At this point, we're all just trying to find out the truth and everything. They kept on questioning me. Bring your phone receipt. Let's see if the figure is actually what you're saying. So they asked me, and as at that time, I bought the 7 Plus for 32 gig, right? I bought it for $850. When we convert it to Nigerian naira, as at that time, because $1 was 362, I think. So when we convert it, it was 306,000 naira for the phone. When I said 306,000 naira, the man said 6,000 naira phone. Then they shout, they rake for us for this place. And I said, no, sir, it's 306,000. Why would I go buy a phone of 306? Wait, just stay shouting. Why would I buy a phone so expensive? I like, what is your actual problem? Do you want me to use a cheap phone? Do you want me to not use an expensive phone? Do you want me to not bring the case to you at all? Like, what is the actual problem? What is it? Basically, the whole thing, it was too late, so we had to go home and come back tomorrow and go through this process again. I came home and I was exhausted at this point. Like, I did not even cry the day they stole the phone as much as I'd have liked, because it's painful to save that kind of money that you could have used to flex to buy a phone, and somebody would just steal it out of the blue and keep denying it. So I came home and my dad was like, you're just going to be exhausted emotionally and financially, and you would not yield any positive results. It's just going to keep hurting you. I would advise you to forgive this guy. At that point, I couldn't grasp the concept of forgiving him, because it was just like, how much that I saved for how many months to buy phone, and this guy was just I can't forgive all those kind of things. I had to come to terms with the fact that this phone would cause me so much heartache, and it is just a phone. Like, if he keeps denying it, what can I do? Can I ever force him to tell the truth? What is it that I can actually do and all? So basically, I came to the resolve that I was going to let the phone go come Saturday, which was the next day. Saturday morning, I was getting ready, trying to bath and all, and then this man walks into our house. It was around like 8 to 9 a.m. and the man just walked in with my phone, and he just said, is this your phone? I said yes. He said I should come. and then I went. Basically, how this phone came back was this guy stole my phone, took it to someone to remove the password so they could sell it or whatever it is that these people do. And the guy couldn't remove my password. He just couldn't. So he took the phone back to the guy's house. Now, when he took the phone back, we had already arrested him. So he didn't meet him. He met the guy's mom, who was denying that her son did not commit. And then she was like, is it because of this phone that my son slept in the station and all of that? And then she took it to this man's house who brought it to my house. That's how this phone came back. And the guy spun a web of lies. He kept on lying about how he got into my house, how he doesn't know me, how the phone didn't come to him directly, or how he didn't steal it. Somebody gave it to him and all of that stuff. But me, oh my God, we know what we saw in my room. We know what we saw in my room that day at that time. And we know how we felt. And I know it's him that stole my phone. But basically, my phone was back with no SIM card. But basically, my phone was back. It was new. And also, I got to use it for 3 years, which is until 2021, when they stole it again. So, this year had been a year. No, not this year. 2021. It was a year. It had started with a lot of things. Like, every single time I had to do something important, something bad happened. Or maybe I'll consider it something bad, but God planned it to happen. Like, I had started my master's, right? And since there was COVID and everything, we were asked to opt for online classes if we were not able to risk going to class. So I opted for online classes and I started. The day I had to write my English exam, my grandpa passed and I had to write that exam with that feeling. I had to worry about the noise. I had to worry about so many things alongside that feeling. Basically, after that, so many things happened. There are so many things that I can't even talk about because it's just too personal. But I buried a lot of family members, very close ones, about 4 to 5 of them in 2021 alone. And in November, the very first day of November, another one passed, and I was just trying to navigate through life. So after everything, I wasn't creating content. I wasn't really showing up. Maybe if I had pre-filmed something, I would post it, but things were not really as smooth as I'd have liked. And then after the burial, after a lot of things, my midterm exams, I planned that, okay, I'm just going to try to I wanted to do my hair. I was trying to do like a ponytail and get a lot of looks out. I knew that I had my exams in December as well, so I said, okay, let me create so much content that even if I'm online or not, people would not feel my absence. I'll create a lot of Christmas looks. And if you notice, I started my 12 days of Christmas looks. I stopped at day 7. Like, life was rough. Basically, on the 15th of that same November, I said, let me make my hair. And I was watching the tutorial for my hair on my phone. My laptop was in front of me and my phone was like against my laptop. So these two guys walked into the shop. The way they walked in was suspicious, but basically, don't look at everybody like they're trying to steal something from you. Like, you don't do that, or I don't. So these two guys came in. One of them was making a call by the door and the other one was talking to me. Like, in case you're wondering, I work at my auntie's shop. She sells hair extensions while I do my makeup on the side. So he came and it was me and my sister in the shop. Her phone was in her hand and mine was against my laptop. So I kept it. It was on the keyboard. So one of them said, they want to buy hair dye. And we said we didn't have dye. Then they said they want shampoo. How much is it? My sister brought it. They also want attachments and all of that. So we're kind of like bringing everything they wanted. And then next thing he just said, this thing that is behind you, how much is it? This one. So I turned my back to like get the weave he was talking about. And when I turned, I guess that was when he picked my phone and put it in his pocket. And my phone was black and the keyboard was black too. Is black. So he picked it, I guess, and when I turned and faced him back, I didn't notice that my phone was gone. He was still there chatting with me. Like, it's the audacity for me. Because imagine if I had realized that my phone wasn't there, and shouted thief. The beating that he would have received that day, because it's not a secluded place, it is actually very public. But he got away with it. He had it in his pocket, and then he was like, this stuff that we're bringing out, all this lady stuff, somebody sent him to come and buy all these things, so he's just thinking to go and call her to come and get her own things, because he's not understanding these things at all. I said, okay. I was smiling. Foolish me was smiling. I was like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, you can tell her to come herself now. We'll just keep the things and wait for her. This guy took my phone and left. When he left, me and my sister were chatting about something really serious. So I didn't really think of my phone being gone, and my hands were greasy, so I wasn't really touching my phone. So I said, we're chatting, and then it was 5 minutes had gone by, and I was like, and I didn't find my phone. I was like, where's my phone? And I checked all my bags, I checked everything. I didn't find my phone, and I was like, my phone is missing. We started calling my phone. My phone rang for hours. These people did not turn off my phone. I don't know if they didn't know how to turn it off. I don't know anything about what happened, but they had already left. We searched everywhere we could think of. The car park, maybe they had gone to like hurriedly go to town and try to sell it. We went to phone shops, we went to places, and I couldn't find my phone. Like, I was literally trying to make my hair to come home and create content, but what phone was I going to use? I wanted to enter a lot of giveaways, I wanted to do a lot of things, but this was what was happening. I came back to the shop. I was shaking. Like, I shook for a little while, because whose phone will get missing and you will not even hysterically start crying? But then I knew that this pain was familiar. I had gone through this before. Like, why do I have to feel this pain again? For people who just are heartless. Because at this point, I cannot understand why people are heartless. So literally, I sat there, I thought of what to do, and then I said, I need to occupy my mind with something. I grabbed my hair kit and continued doing my hair, because what else was I going to do? I made my hair, and my sisters, like, they were so supportive. They were like, you can use my phone anytime you want. You can enter the giveaway, you can log in your Instagram, you can do everything you want while, while your phone is missing, while we try to track it. So I came home that night and I created a look to enter like the 2 giveaways I was trying to enter. Like, if you'd seen that video, you would know that I was sad, if you can tell, I guess. But my eyes, there was this sadness in them. I didn't cry. I did not cry, because I don't know how to cry when I'm sad. Like, it's very, very hard. I cried a lot when I was bullied in secondary school, but I had to teach myself not to cry a lot, which is sad for me now, because sometimes I actually want to cry. One of those days was when they stole my phone. I tried to be strong and everything, but my sisters, they really helped me, because it didn't feel like I was offline. If anything, when they stole my phone, I was so consistent, people didn't even feel it. Like, I got so much support. I got friends who gave me monetary gifts, which is very kind of you guys. That was amazing. And then I did these 12 days of Christmas. The first 6 days, my sister was posting. People didn't know that she was the one on my Instagram, but everything I told her, I said by 6, I've already created these looks. I have edited them, I've captioned them, I've tagged all the brands. All you need to do is press send when it's 6 o'clock, share it to my story, and tag it day 1 out of 12, day 2 out of 12. And she did all this perfectly, and people thought I was online. No jokes. But the videos I uploaded during that time are my most viral videos till now. So now, what is this trying to tell me at this point? Because yeah, I've gotten a new phone. I am still getting used to it. In short, sometimes I feel like the quality of that phone was superior, and this phone could never match up. But what are the lessons I learned from this? To say my faith was tested would be an understatement. Like, how do you stay positive in the face of challenges like this? Death of family members, stolen personal items, looking like everything is lost and all of that. Like, how you try to stay positive all the time? You're the one that's always trying to look at at that point, everything was just like, if you're talking to me, I'll just be quiet and listening to you and smiling and saying thank you, because what else could I do at this point? I had heard all there is light at the end of the tunnel, it's all for good. These people have carried your suffering, your tears, they've carried it and gone away. I heard so many cliches at that point. Like, Sometimes when people are saying things to me, I'm like, it became a song in my head. Before you say it, I've completed it because I've heard it a lot this past, months. And there's just so much. I'm not even done at this point. Like, I am not done. I have another video that I would post because this is not even the end of the disappointment, right? I'm just trying to tell you guys what happened with my phone. There's another story time that I'm going to do and tell you guys all about a job and getting sick and so many other things. I'm just going to tell you guys that in another video. But for this one, how I I won't classify it as me staying positive because I wouldn't know. People around me would be the ones to know if I was positive during this time. But literally always waking up and having to tell yourself, like, this was a thing I practiced. Every day I would wake up and tell myself, today I would not be sad. Today I choose to be happy. I had to start thinking of childhood movies I watched that make me happy, and think of the songs. I even used it for one of my videos that did so well on Instagram as well. I would wake up and tell myself these things, but trust me, I didn't just have to tell myself, I had to live it, because there was this sadness in my heart, right? So I thought of a lot of things. I came to something that made me to be at peace with everything that happened, because what else could I have done? I am not God, and I believe that everything that he does is for a reason, right? Basically, I just came to I grew into it. Actually, I wouldn't say I came to the conclusion like that, but I believe that when they stole the phone the first time and brought it back, that was a gift. Like, me using that phone for 3 years was a gift. The images I captured in that phone, the opportunities I got, everything I was able to do with that phone for 3 years, that was a gift before they stole it again, right? And yeah, people were like, maybe it's because you're due to change a new phone and everything. How was I going to afford a new phone when it was not even in my plans? Like, I'm not one of those people that have $1,000, $2,000 sitting somewhere. I mean, I'm still struggling for YouTube to monetize me. So I don't have that kind of money laying around just to buy a new phone when somebody steals the old one. So I had so many things to do, and then phone on top of it. I just always woke up and told myself to be happy no matter what. I couldn't make myself happy, but I had to steal moments in the day. Everything that made me happy, I took it. I tried to be wholly there. It was hard adjusting without a phone. It was very hard. Like, my phone has my reminders, my phone has a lot of things, but I couldn't do all those things because I didn't have a phone. So I had to adjust. I had to think about life differently. My life didn't revolve around my phone, but it was my means of earning money, right? When I would do people's makeup, people depended on my pictures because I take really good pictures. But at this point, I had to make do with, anytime I'm done doing makeup, if there is no good phone to capture my work, I had to make do with the fact that I would not have pictures of that job. Other times, my sister would even loan me her phone to go to the job for hours and then return it to her later. Like, it was crazy. It took a lot out of me, but basically I had to go with it and believe that there was something better. And basically, I feel like there is still something better in the future for me, because I can't be going through all of this for, I don't know, for the sake of it, right? I'm just so grateful that I did not, because it's still a journey. I wouldn't say I've regained myself. I wouldn't say I am perfect and my emotions are all in check, all of that stuff. No, I would just say I'm still, like, on the journey of gathering myself and getting myself up from that situation. But I'm just grateful that it did not break me. Like, it did not break me. I still smile and I am still polite to customers. I am still not trying to chase everybody out because I suspect everybody to be a thief. And I'm always trusting God, because if I lose everything in my life, that's the one thing I know that is constant in my life. Because I might be thinking, God allowed this thing to happen to me, and why is it me? But then in my life, every time I feel like something bad is happening, or or I might not make it through a certain thing, God always comes through. So that is, and I'm not saying I believe in him because he comes through. I'm believing in him just because, like, nothing about my praises, nothing about my belief would change him from being God. I just believe in him. That is it. Like, there's nothing, not because, no buts, nothing. I just believe, right? I just know that no matter what, I did not break, and I'm fine, God willing, by God's grace. And I have a new phone now, which is a good thing. I have to be more careful because sometimes you can just never be too careful with people, but I have to be more careful now. I've learned to always remove my phone from the table so that people don't just come and pick it while I'm trying to chat and be nice. Basically, there are just so many lessons I've learned, and maybe I would share them because right now I can't think of them off the top of my head. But my faith is, it wavered a little bit, but I feel like it is restored. I feel like it is, and I am still like on the journey of finding myself and being a better person every day and believing in God more and more. So basically, that is the stories of how my phone was stolen twice, and how I did not break while all that happened. And I'm just so grateful to everybody that has been here, people who reached out, people who have always commented on my videos and always encouraged me. Like, I know someone who sent me a long, it wasn't vague, it wasn't what's the word I'm looking for, it wasn't cliche, right? It was head, I don't know how to explain it, but it was spot on. It was everything. When I lost my grandpa and there was just so much, she encouraged me a lot. She literally encouraged me to make this video on my faith walk. So I'm not the most perfect Christian, but I do believe in God and everything that he is and what he's planning for my life. And I'm grateful for all of you being here and always supporting. And I hope that this video was not too boring for you to watch. It's just to tell you that you should always be careful. You should still stay kind even after people try to do you wrong. And it also tell you that you should hold your belief strongly because it's the only thing that would get you through a lot of bad situations. And I really hope I'll see you guys in my next video. If you'd like to see how I created this eye look, I'm going to link a card above and in the description so you guys can go and watch and learn how I created the look. And I hope to see you guys in my next video.